Have you ever really stopped to see the world like a little kid does, like a 4-year-old?
Hmm.
Where everything, even just a bright red garbage can or a smooth rock by the river or just a bird singing, it all feels kind of amazing, perfect almost. That ability we all have deep down for just being there in the moment. Well, it's still in us. But then, life happens, modern
Yeah.
life. It just pulls at us constantly, doesn't it? The calendar's overflowing, the phone never stops buzzing, and there's always this endless list of things to do. It pulls us right out of those moments. So, today we're doing a deep dive into the happiness of being present with loved ones. Quality time matters most. And our mission really is to explore how being truly present with the people who matter isn't just like a nice thing to do if you have time. It's absolutely fundamental for our happiness, our health, the whole fabric of our lives, actually. We've gathered insights from a whole stack of guides, some really interesting psychological research, and studies on well-being to get a good look at human connection. And to start off, okay, here's what gets really interesting. We looked at this fascinating German study. It compared different ways people try to find happiness. And get this, it found that people who went after social goals, things like making time for friends and family or helping other people out, they actually became more satisfied with their lives over time.
Yeah, that's right.
But the people focused on individual goals, like self-improvement stuff, they didn't see that same boost.
No, they didn't.
In fact, the study even suggested that doing nothing was, believe it or not, better for long-term satisfaction than chasing those purely self-focused goals.
It's pretty stark, isn't it? And it really highlights just how basic this need for connection is.
Absolutely.
And what's fascinating here is how deep this really goes. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about a need that's as primal, as fundamental as needing food or water. If you look back historically, there was research in the 60s, like Harlow's monkey experiment.
Oh, right. I remember hearing about those.
Yeah, and look, we have to acknowledge the ethical issues with those studies by today's standards, definitely.
Sure.
But they were kind of groundbreaking at the time because they showed that baby monkeys preferred warmth and affection, this soft cloth mother figure, over just getting food from a wire one.
Yeah.
They only went to the wire mother when they were overwhelmingly hungry.
Wow. So it wasn't just about basic survival then. It was comfort, emotional security right from the start.
Exactly. It pointed towards something deeper. And then later, back in 1995, a psychologist named Roy Baumeister, he came up with his need to belong hypothesis. And he basically provided a ton of evidence showing that we humans have this fundamental drive, a drive to form lasting relationships.
Does drive, like a motivation.
A powerful motivating force, yeah. You see it everywhere. People form bonds really easily, and they're pretty reluctant to break them. We're always sort of considering our relationships when we figure out what's going on around us. And when that fundamental need isn't met, when we lack connection, well, that's when you see distress. Real pathological consequences even. Our emotions themselves are so tied up in relationships, you could argue that one of their main jobs is actually to form and keep those social bonds going.
Okay, so if this need is that primal, that fundamental, what does that mean for our bodies, our physical health?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the health consequences of disconnection are, they're pretty profound, really significant. Chronic loneliness, and this isn't just about old age, it's at any age, it's been linked to a whole host of bad health outcomes.
Like what specifically?
Okay, so we're talking about increased inflammation throughout the body, accelerated aging,
Wow.
higher cardiovascular risk, sadly even suicide risk, and overall mortality from all causes. It's actually on par with the risk you get from smoking regularly.
Wait, loneliness can be as bad for you as smoking?
That's what the data suggests, yeah. It's that serious.
Okay.
Chronic loneliness seemed to actually trigger like a low-grade chronic inflammation state in the body. But on the flip side, social connection seems to do the opposite. It looks like it inhibits those inflammatory genes and actually boosts our antiviral responses.
That's incredible.
It is. And there's even some research suggesting that just doing acts of kindness for other people can give you similar health benefits. It's like this positive feedback loop, an upward spiral they call it, where positive feelings and feeling connected reinforce each other. And that boosts our rest and digest system, the parasympathetic nervous system, which leads to better health overall.
So our immune system is literally kind of listening to our social world.
In a way, yes. That's a good way to put it. It's deeply interconnected.
Okay, this is all really compelling, but it brings us back to the practical stuff, doesn't it? What does this mean for you listening in your actual day-to-day life, especially when things are so busy, the phone's always going off? How do we do this? How do we make that quality time happen?
Right, the million-dollar question. And the key thing to remember is that quality time, it
Yeah.
isn't really about big, fancy gestures. It's much simpler. It's about undivided attention. That's it, giving 100% of your focus to the person you're with.
Undivided attention. Okay.
And this isn't just, a parent-child thing either. It's just as important and meaningful for partners, for siblings, parents, close friends, everyone. When you give someone your full attention, you really see them more clearly, you listen better, and you remember, why they're so special to you in the first place.
So it's about the focus.
Exactly. And think about simple ways to do it, like concrete date ideas. They don't have to be complicated. At home, you could just make your living room a cozy movie spot with popcorn. Or do something creative together, like drawing or crafting, whatever you're into. Cooking a meal together is fantastic, too. Good for communication, and maybe you even pass down a family recipe,
Yeah, I like that.
Or outside the house, it could be as simple as exploring the local library together. Or just a walk in the park, visiting a museum or some local historical site. The activity itself isn't really the point. The point is engaging together without all the usual distractions pulling you away.
That makes a lot of sense. But, okay, the frequency question comes up, right? How often do we need to do this? Does it have to be every day? Every week? Because, honestly, that sounds like a lot to add.
Yeah, that's a common concern. And look, some relationship experts might suggest aiming for dedicated one-on-one time with each family member, maybe weekly. But here's what I think is crucial. Consistency matters more than how long you spend.
Ah, okay.
Even just 20 minutes of focus time, no phones allowed, can make someone feel really special and connected. There was a practical approach in one source we looked at, suggesting maybe aim for once every 2 minutes per person. And you rotate.
Once every 2 weeks, rotating. That sounds more manageable.
Right. And if you can do more, fantastic. But if not, that's okay. The goal is presence. It's not about adding more pressure to your life. And here's the real kind of magic trick, I think. Instead of always trying to add another thing like a family date night to your already tacked schedule, see if you can fold quality time into things you're already doing.
Fold it in. How do you mean?
Well, maybe sharing a late night snack with your teenager while you just chat about their day. Nothing formal, just being there. Or folding laundry side by side with your mom and asking her about what things were like when she was young.
Oh, I see. Using existing moments.
Exactly. It could be a really short walk around the block with your partner after dinner just to catch up. Or just chatting after meals, lingering at the table, riding in the car together, brushing your kid's hair, prepping snacks. The opportunities are actually everywhere once you start looking for them.
That shifts the perspective quite a bit.
It really does. I read this great personal story from one source that perfectly captured this. This person described a week that was just totally chaotic. Deadlines, errands, kids, school events, everything piling up. And they felt guilty, for not planning anything special.
Yeah, I can relate to that feeling.
Totally. But then one evening, their daughter asked if she could show them something she'd written. So they just sat together for maybe 15 minutes on the bed while the daughter read it out loud. And that little moment turned into a longer chat about what she'd been thinking and feeling. No big production, no prep needed. Just presence. And it was more than enough.
That's such a perfect example. Presence over perfection.
Exactly. It shows how those small, maybe unplanned moments, when you bring intention to them, they become your bonding rituals. They could be the most significant ones.
It really does. Okay, but let's take this idea of presence even deeper now. Beyond just doing activities together, how do we truly get to know our loved ones? I mean, really understand them beyond the surface stuff, the memories we already share.
That's a really excellent point, because chances are you know the story of how you graduated high school, right?
Yeah.
Or the funny things that happened to your parents' wedding.
Sure, the family lore.
Right, the lore.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever asked your dad what he was actually feeling on the day you graduated, inside? Or what your mom was thinking in that exact moment right before she started walking down the aisle?
Probably not in those specific terms.
Right. And while we know a lot of the surface memories, that deeper understanding often comes from asking about, feelings, thoughts, the lessons learned from their experiences, and digging into that. It can be incredibly rich. So satisfying, learning about the events, the people, the places, the values, the lessons that really shaped who they are. It can bring you so much closer.
It feels like you'd see them in a whole new light.
You absolutely do. It helps you get to know them in new, different ways. It deepens the relationship, strengthens it, and it helps both of you, you and them, understand the life they've lived better. You gain this whole new appreciation for their unique story.
So how do you even start those kinds of conversations? It sounds a bit intense, maybe?
It can feel that way, but the hardest part is often just starting. There aren't any strict rules you have to follow. The key is for it to feel relaxed, natural. It can happen anytime, really, anywhere that feels comfortable. And it can be with anyone important to you, a parent, grandparent, your spouse, an aunt, uncle, close friend, whoever.
Okay, so keep it casual.
Yeah, definitely. And a great tip is to lean on open-ended questions. Questions that need more than just a yes or no answer.
Yeah, not, did you like school?
Exactly. Instead, try something like, tell me about your earliest memory of school, or how did you feel on your very first day?
Yeah.
Or ask about those specific moments we mentioned. What was your mom thinking right before she walked down the aisle? Or even bigger things. What historical events really defined your generation, and how did they impact you personally?
Those kinds of questions definitely open things up more.
They unlock a much richer story, yeah.
And you can even kind of group them by themes, if that helps. To get to know them again, you could ask about their earliest memory ever, or the story behind their name, what they imagined their future would be like back then, their career path. Maybe ask about the first time they really felt like an adult.
Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Or ask about the people in their life. Their parents, grandparents, siblings. Ask about their first love, or how they met their spouse. What was your wedding day really like for you? Or about parenthood. How did seeing your child for the first time actually change you? And then maybe lessons for future generations. Ask about family traditions they hold dear, the most important life lessons they've picked up, what wisdom they'd want to pass on.
There are so many potential avenues there. So many. And remember, the most important part is to listen. Listen carefully with an open mind and open heart. Try not to judge. And if they seem uncomfortable talking about something, just respect that. Move on gently. Oh, and another great tip. Use stuff you have around. Family photos, old heirlooms, treasured objects. They can be amazing conversation starters. They just bring memories flooding back sometimes.
It almost sounds like we're becoming, historians for our own families, uncovering these incredible life stories. But is it really a two-way street? Do we share our memories of them too?
Oh, absolutely. That's a crucial part of it. When you have these conversations, it's also a chance for you to share your treasured memories of them.
Ah.
You could tell your mom how much you appreciated her teaching you that specific recipe, for her famous cheesecake. Or remind your dad how grateful you were that he taught you how to drise. Sharing your memories of them helps them understand how important they are to you. It shows them their life mattered, that they made an impact.
That makes them feel seen.
Exactly. Seen and valued. And it also helps you understand yourself better, who you are, where you come from, and thinking longer term. It can even be really helpful down the road, when families have to make decisions about how to remember and honor loved ones. These shared stories help ensure they're memorialized in a way that truly reflects their life and legacy.
That brings us to a sort of bigger point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How does all this profound presence, these deep connections, how does it link to our overall well-being, to living, the good life? They often hear that statistic, right? That something like 40% of our happiness is actually within our control.
That's right. And this is where the field of positive psychology really offers some great insights. Martin Seligman's PERMA model for flourishing is a really useful framework here.
PERMA, okay. Remind us what that stands for.
Sure. It's P for positive emotion, E for engagement, R for relationships, M for meaning, and A for accomplishment. And as you might guess, that our relationships is a core, central element of flourishing.
Makes sense, given everything we've discussed.
Totally. It's all about nurturing those true positive relationships. It involves giving and receiving support, spending that quality time, feeling seen and heard, appreciating each other, celebrating successes together, feeling trust and safety. All of that.
And how do the other parts connect? The PEMA.
Well, they're all beautifully intertwined, really. Think about positive emotion. Often, the positive feelings we experience come directly from gratitude for our loved ones or from creating those lasting memories with them. Engagement, that's about being fully absorbed, right? Experiencing that flow state.
Yeah.
And that often happens most powerfully when we're deeply connected in a moment with someone we care about.
Yeah, you lose track of time.
Exactly. Meaning our relationships are often how we connect to something bigger than ourselves. They give us a sense of purpose, of worth, and accomplishment. A. Well, you can think of the shared journey of building and deepening those bonds as a significant accomplishment in itself.
So it all feeds into each other.
Precisely.
Mm.
And other positive psychology practices really enhance this too, like savoring. Yeah, just consciously noticing and appreciating the good experiences, especially those with loved ones, really soaking it up, basking in it, maybe sharing the joy with others. It makes those positive memories stick.
Yeah.
And gratitude, of course. That deep appreciation for the good things in life. It's consistently linked to lasting happiness and better coping, and so often our gratitude is directed towards the people in our lives. Even optimism, seeing the future positively, that gets a boost when we look back fondly on times we felt connected and purposeful. It all ties back to connection.
So it's really not just about scheduling specific activities then. It's more like fostering a whole lifestyle of intentional connection that kind of ripples out into every part of our lives.
Yes, that's a perfect way to put it. And these intentional moments of connection, whether they feel big or small, they lead to tangible benefits. Better communication, less stress, a more harmonious feeling in the household. They definitely decrease those feelings of loneliness, which, as we saw, is so critical for health. And they enhance our overall mental health, too. These shared experiences, they build up this reservoir of positive memories, something the family can draw on when times get tough. It reinforces everyone's resilience together. That's really how a house starts to feel like a true home, doesn't it? A space that just breeds safety and affection and belonging.
Wow. So wrapping this up, the central message seems crystal clear. True presence, making that quality time with the people we love. It's not just a nice extra. It's absolutely essential for deep happiness, for our physical health, and really for building a life that feels meaningful. And it's not only about the big holidays or birthdays we put on the calendar, right? It's the accumulation of all those ordinary, everyday moments where we choose to be intentional to connect. That's what weaves the real fabric of our lives.
Beautifully said. So maybe think about this week ahead. Who will you choose to be truly present with, even for just a little while? Set aside that intentional time. And what unexpected treasures might you discover in their story, and perhaps, just maybe, in your own as well?